God.
And we call it, oh yeah.
Article 20, chapter 4, verse 5. All phones supposed to recharge. Your orange mini, your orange data, your Luxor mini, your Luxor data. Article 20, chapter 4, verse 5. All phones supposed to recharge. Your orange mini, your orange data, your Luxor mini, your Luxor data. Article 20, chapter 4, verse 5. All phones supposed to recharge. Your orange mini, your orange data, your Luxor mini, your Luxor data. Article 20, chapter 4, verse 5. All phones supposed to recharge. Your orange mini, your orange data, your Luxor mini, your Luxor data.
I will be coming to you shortly to ask you to renew for a second time the mandate that you gave me 6 years ago. Young people, seize the day, seize the moment, seize the opportunity. This is your time. This is our time. As we stand here today, let me assure you that the state of our nation is strong. The state of our nation is stable. The state of our nation is vibrant. The state of our nation is useful. The state of our nation is peaceful and secure. We intend to keep it this way.
And Joshua must receive this warning from the people yesterday. It's a warning that will tie with you. We tie with you. And Joshua must receive this warning from the people yesterday. It's a warning that will tie with you. We tie with you. Don't force yourself on, we'll vote you out. Sedition say, we will take it, but we'll take it. We will take it. We defy them to take it. We defy them. In fact, another bill coming out will soon come. Another before October election. Liberians are coming out under the caption, don't try it, don't try it. Any attempt, the people's power will be exercised at the Arab Spring. You will shoot your gun, you will kill us, or you will die. But no more fear. Liberians don't have fear anymore. They don't want to live under a dictatorial regime. They don't care regime. People say, oh, they think that just people were saying no money. We don't hear for money. Where's the money? How much money you pay? You pay nothing. Our campaign, the land and bread of Nimba, places I've never been before in my life, in my own country, as a political governor. Because Nimba is big, big. These people are determined, they are resolved. So the crowd is genuine. The thing happen in every county. Nobody sent money. Nobody bought food for them. Nothing. People yesterday were crying for people water to drink. I came home around 10 o'clock.
I believe in fighting corruption, you always have to start with yourself. You have to be the example. And corruption is not only among government officials, but it has become a culture. We came as a rescue mission, and we know one of the biggest problems there is corruption. And I want to say that we start by making sure those people that we bring to cabinet are people of integrity. And secondly, I want to make sure that even beginning with myself, we'll declare our assets and want to make sure that this is well known, the purpose of coming to government, to know that it's public service. And if you are not ready to serve the public, you can go elsewhere. But we want to make sure that we serve on a clear note that the people of our country stood on line, they protected the votes, not to bring a team again that will do the same thing that other people are doing or worse. So it's a clear message, declare your asset, make sure that we are prepared to audit the outgoing government so that they tell the Liberian people of their stewardship, and to make sure that we start on a footing where people know that they come to serve the public and not themselves. If they don't understand that, they actually fall where it may.
Mr. President, like you talked about asset declaration, start
from yourself and the people who work with you, as well as the outgoing administration. How do you plan to avoid the semblance of targeting people? Because some people will say these are politically motivated to tarnish their reputation or to go against them, people from certain tribes or specific parts of the country. How do you plan to avoid this?
We are aware of that. And when we talk about auditing, it's not going to be a Liberian auditing. We want to make sure that our international partners work with us for a public tender for competent and renowned auditing firm that will be qualified at an international level to make sure they come on board to do that. We are aware of people saying witch hunting, but I don't think it's witch hunting when you have to account for your stewardship, but it has to be done in a way that is well established, entity with reputation to make sure that it audits and make sure that it reports to the public the findings.
Sometimes people say that politicians make lofty promises when they are campaigning, but when it gets to governance, it becomes different. What will be different? Assuming allies of yours, family members of yours, or people who are close to you, family members, are accused of corruption during your administration, Mr. President-elect, how do you plan to tackle this specifically?
Jefferson Koji has mastered the art of lying, and that is not surprising because the party he serves as Secretary General for is premised on lie. And so there was this talk around that when they went to Israel, Jefferson Koji, when he escorted the president to Israel, they interacted with Russians and Israelis, and that they have brought them into this country. We raised the alarm, and it has been circulating. So apparently in a bid to diffuse what we said, he brought it up. But let me bring you to this. The vice president of this country, Vice President Joel Howard Taylor, is an extremely close associate of many. Take a prayer, sleep. My sister, too long, we've been in our sleep.
Great country, good people, interesting nation, interesting people, interesting issues, all worth talking about. Good morning. A pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We come your way here on Broad Street here in Monrovia. Frequency is 107. My name is Matthias Nabindi. Today, we're here dealing with other interesting developments. My co-host is Curtis Seated, designing, touching different twists and turns, and doing some setting up, and at the same time, Lucky is the co-host of the program. We have a couple of issues to talk about. Is it that somebody has reintroduced the religious conversation that has, in some years, put us into hard in this country? I remember back in 2004, there was this Muslim football. I wasn't talking about what that led us to. I mean, a prominent person in the Liberian Senate, the Senator, by the way, from Babylon, is introducing that conversation with the national not receiving, any kind of warm reception from some members of the public regarding the decision of that subject. Is the executive protection service overcrowded? What is the effect of that overcrowding? We hope to look deep into that. Hoping to hear from Mr. Philip Moore, spokesperson of the executive protection service, about the issue of taking our politicians before going to the ballot box. Did you know that Mr. Senator Prince Johnson of Nimba County is talking about talking tough on issues that things are not, going to right with this MDR party, the party that represents political marriage. And that's right. Welcome back to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. It's always an interesting thing being here in the morning. Julius, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Matthias. Good morning, everyone.
It's good to be here again. This morning something coincidental is happening. You know, somehow we decided to come with Lapo shites.
Oh yes, I mean,
are you wearing a jeans trouser?
Oh no, I'm wearing cloth trouser.
Okay, I can see it.
But if you notice me, I prefer wearing African shirt to that of long sleeve coats and
I tell you,
I don't like those stuffs.
Yeah,
I don't want to be like other persons.
I understand
when you wear this, the button shirt ain't open.
But
because I got beat stomach.
I beg you.
So that's what I'm saying.
I'm not going there with you.
No,
I'm not going to go there with you. Discuss people that wear shirts and then because of the size of their
I am only telling you, just in case you went out there and someone asked you what your co-host like, what kind of clothes he love African shirts.
Okay, so, right.
So what else somebody?
But it's good to be here again this morning. You know, people sit down and observe situations from different angles. They think that things are not happening the right way in the country, and they tend to engage conversations from different perspectives.
Yeah. And
one person who's doing that right now is Mr. Abraham Dole. He's the spokesperson of the Liberia Immigration Service. We are hoping to have him here this morning. Mr. Dole has a different view on the way advocacy is going in Liberia.
Young ones.
Yeah. the way advocacy is going in Liberia, because many people now consider themselves advocate, but the undertone, there is a there's a subtle intention of why they came out to say they're advocates. They're doing something much more different from just advocacy.
From what
advocacy,
Abraham Dole then did.
Right.
I mean, the Abraham Dole, the Abdullah Mahmoud, Valai Dole, the late, you know, Abdullah Mame, Francis Grant, you know, the late James Gray.
Yeah.
The way they did it. I mean, when he comes in, we'll have a fruitful discussion on
right.
that.
We hope that we can have him here this morning. He's going to be our guest from 8 to 9 o'clock. We hope that just in fact 30 minutes is a conversation that will be worthwhile. Yeah. So talking about Abraham Dole, there are a couple of issues also, Julius, that we've been looking at lately, and in fact, focus is now on Capitol Hill, where people are appointed. So yes, Mr. Dole is you are expected here. So I just want to let you know that yes, Guy, certainly we had a conversation on it. So he's certainly going to be here with us at least for less 45 minutes. Yeah, we can. He's just
up here.
Yeah, no, I got him on the line because I should have called earlier, but I got him on the line and I'm saying it on the radio.
Yeah, so know that we're expecting him.
Absolutely. So you're hearing Julius. Julius said you just a stone throw away from here. So yeah, all right, we expect you. So yeah, Julius, the whole focus is now on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
There's one thing. There's one thing for the president to nominate, and there's another thing for the senators to confirm, and that's why we have three separate branches, three but coordinate, branches of the Liberian government. So a couple of people have been going there for confirmation hearings and so, and they started working thing. Tomorrow we'll be hearing from the Public Works Minister designate, Mr. Lafayette Giddens. Julius, kindly permit me to feed the public again this morning with something that I started doing yesterday, but because of the guest, I couldn't continue. I just want to go back to Mr. Giddens's profile and see what is in therein, and how you members of the public would react to it. And even though the executive management is saying the public should stay away from all confirmation hearings, and so on.
Is it possible?
Yeah, I mean, public in the sense that they should stop interfering, in terms of maybe this person is this person is that, and everyone is coming to defend their own. And that's the society today. So, Mr. Giddens, according to this brief profile shared with me by, a confidant, Roland Lafayette Giddens is an enthusiastic and professional person who enjoys being part of, as well as leading, an insightful and motivated team to achieve established organizational goals. He's very quick to adjust to new ideas and applying innovative solutions to solving problems. He is a self-starter and is committed to the achievements that are in the interest of the general good of society. He holds strong principles and believes in upholding integrity in whatever engagement he's involved with. Roland Lafayette Giddens is currently the Chief Executive Officer of a management consultancy and logistics firm, Lafayette Giddens Incorporated, LASI. Imagine he's into private, he's also investing in the private sector. He has, to his credit, 11 years of professional experience in the public sector, specifically in infrastructure program and projects troubleshooting, coordinating, monitoring and evaluation, and oversight. From 2007 to 2018 in several capacities, program assistant at the LRDC Secretariat, a unit in presidency, which was responsible to lead the drafting, launching and coordination of the Poverty Reduction Strategy, the PRS. He served as lead head of Secretariat, Economic Management Team, EMT, in the presidency as a coordinating arm, which was responsible to coordinate the formulation of economic policies review and adjustment when required to stabilize growth in the economy. In 2010, through a World Bank project, he was hired as senior program officer in the President's Delivery Unit, which was responsible to troubleshoot, coordinate, monitor, and report on the implementation status of the heavy lift national infrastructure projects to include roads, energy, seaports, airports, etc. In 2014, he became Deputy Minister for Administration, Minister of Public Works and Rural Development, responsible to perform and coordinate administrative activities to include financial management and control, monitoring, evaluation, and systemic reporting to ensure accountability and transparency of projects financing, procurement of budget activities, management of assets. He holds an undergraduate degree in business administration from African Methodist Episcopal University with emphasis in strategic management and a graduate degree in business administration with emphasis in marketing from the Wuhan University of Technology, Wuhan, China. While at the LRDC Secretariat, he served as research associate in a comprehensive study on Liberia and China engagement sponsored by Rockefeller Foundation in collaboration with the Africa Center for Economic Transformation, ASED, based in Accra, Ghana, collaborating with a Liberian consultancy firm, Barclay Incorporated. He has acquired several professional certificates in policies and practices managing special economic zones, national debt strategy analysis, West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management, and loan negotiation techniques, Crown Agent and Debt Relief International, amongst others. In addition to his extracurricular activities, he served as president of the African Methodist Episcopal University Students Union, the first president of the Alumni Association, member of University Foundation Board, and a dedicated business policy strategy and marketing lecturer at the African Methodist Episcopal University and the United Methodist University. He has also served as president of the Greater Monrovia Lions Club and Offspring Lions Club International, catering to visually impaired and underprivileged. As project chair prior to his ascendancy to the presidency of the club, he is in collaboration with the AME University, led the establishment of the first ever state-of-the-art computer laboratory for visually impaired students in Liberia, currently functional at the African Methodist Episcopal University. He's a devoted Christian and has been married for 20 years, blessed with 3 wonderful children. For sporting activity, he's an ardent lover of soccer, a regular player of the Sinco Old Timers Sport Association. And I know Julius was waiting to hear which team does he support. I didn't, I didn't see that. The source didn't share that with me. Which team does he support? Is it Barca? Is it Chelsea? Julius is a Chelsea guy, and I'm a Barcelona fan. But I think what basically I'm getting, Julius, just let me learn my thought. I'm a Barcelona fan.
But what did I say?
There's nothing you can do about that.
No, is anything.
I think most of the time people talk about when you mention public works. What comes to my folks think that maybe somebody must be an engineer to be an administrator of the public works ministry. Well, that may suffice. But if someone has clear, discipline of seeking results, getting results, in fact, going into a place and getting results, delivering on what they are supposed to do, well, a couple of things could just come to mind. That is better you assigned or you bring in an administrator, a straightforward administrator, than bringing an engineer who will be bent on, demonstrating that I am the boss here. I know I am an engineer. I'm also the minister, rather than seeking the right thing to be done. But let's see what the senators would do tomorrow, with his confirmation hearing, and several other people. In fact, the EPS director Dexinate, according to the information, he's talking about the crowdedness of the EPS. Everyone that goes to that particular area, they have a message to send to the senators, and it left with the senators to decide that this person, even though they do not have a degree in this discipline, they do not have a degree in this area, but they are going to be managing this area. But based on their track record, the way they're able to deliver on their task, there are some people they are task driven. And I think Lafayette comes across that way. Some are just task driven. You give them a task, they execute, they deliver, they give you results even beyond your expectations. So, no doubt. Let's see what the senators would decide tomorrow on that confirmation hearing. Madam Sarah Beslow Yanti also has been going through, Madam Sarah Beslow Yanti has also been going through, she also went through our confirmation hearing yesterday. A couple of friends reached out to say, look, my man, Matthias, that lady is very smart. I mean, she's a very brilliant lady. Well, this is the society we find ourselves. Well, let the senators decide her fate. Julius, you have something to read for us. Amara Kone posted something a couple of minutes ago talking about Sarah Beslo Yanti.
Yeah.
He
So
posted something less than 5 minutes ago, I think.
yeah, let me try to get it quickly.
Right.
We can go into it.
You know, so I was basically, trying to reach out to Mr. Philip Moore, but Philip cannot speak to what the EPS director said now at the moment. I think we'll try to get
And so
to.
let me just inform our public, our listeners and followers that but by 8 o'clock we will not join the VOA. We will directly go to our electrical department to do switch of power.
Okay.
Yeah, so we switch power from 8 o'clock, and then 8:05 we'll be right back on the radio where Mr. Dolly will be here.
Okay.
But before then, let me just read this. Senator Amara Kone, sorry.
Right.
Senator Amara Kone just posted on his Facebook page just about 23 minutes ago. And he said, as a ranking member of the Senate's Foreign Affairs Committee, he said, I did my own due diligence on Madam Sarah Beslo Yanti, President Joseph Yama Boakai's nominee for Foreign Minister. Her degree from Western Governor University, an accredited online university where you can earn an affordable, accredited, and career-focused college degree at an accelerated pace. Legitimate. I saw the transcript. I didn't see any for Andrew Jackson University, which is now Abraham is calling on the other end. Andrew Jackson University, which is now defunct. It was funded as a for-profit institution in 1994 by Robert McCain Norris Jr. and D. Michael Barrett. After being acquired in 2010 by University Incorporated, it was renamed New Charter University, and subsequently in 2020, it was again renamed Bottingham University in Salt Lake City. Accredited as an online educational platform, it affords certificates and undergraduates and graduate courses. She may not have followed a traditional route in the pursuit of her university. She may not have followed the traditional route in pursuit of a university education that we are all accustomed to. But if a degree from accredited university is a requirement, she has one. Concerning the circumstances of her UN assignment, I spoke to two former senior officers who are familiar with her work. A senior former official of the International Republican Institute who was assigned to South Sudan at the time, and a retired former UN official who is familiar with her work in Nepal. I also had the privilege to speak with John Garang's widow, South Sudan former First Lady, and one of the country's 5 VPs. All gives satisfactory feedback on her work. I am familiar with her work in Yemen when I serve as head of the World Bank's Global Hub for Fragile States. The issue for me was integrity and her ability to deliver. My own research and outreach to people who are familiar with her work reassure me. I do not doubt that she is competent to be our foreign minister. Could there be any issue? I don't know. This is why the Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman, Senator Darius DeLong, has decided to do a second hearing in the committee room before forwarding the nominee to the Senate plenary for voting. The Senate is an elder's house, and we must act like it's been thorough in our decision-making process. Avoid of emotion and public sentiment. Madam Beslo Yanti's story gives hope to Liberian women. I think I'll just applaud him.
We're just applauding,
You're
and
confirming
then
some of the researches you did.
and then he raised a little concern about what he didn't see in her transcript, right?
Mm.
About one on Andrew Jackson's, university, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
But I say what we need.
So what he's basically saying is that, I mean, it's just to sum it up. He summarized his whole thing at the end. All right, giving her, profiling her, and saying that we have to be thorough in everything that we do. Let us not be biased in these things. This is a house of elders, and let's ensure that, I mean, people are scrutinized in a proper way, that others wouldn't think that we are being, sentimental about our decisions. We represent the Liberian people. We should work in ensuring that they are properly represented here at the Senate.
Okay.
So yeah.
So we're taking a quick break. Don't go away. We want to switch from power source 1 to power source 2. Or sometime when you're doing the program, this thing happen. But right after the switching of power, at 8:05 we'll be back, and then Dolly will be here, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, so let's take the quick break. We'll be right back with switching from power source 1 to power source 2. Don't move.
With nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Caught up in the land of the brave. Wondering if God is still on my side. I've had my share of sorrow and grief. Look at these faces staring at me, hoping that someday the struggle will end. For all we know, we wanna be free. The fight for you to pay is our only defense. Simple people, what more can we ask for? With illusions of terror on their mind, sing songs of silence, come down, oh Creator. I question my tears, leave my fears behind.
from him to advocate. But what is bringing this? There's a saying that all soldiers can never leave the barrack. So Mr. Dollar just sat for some time and said, no, the way advocacy is going, I mean, we got to put Mao in this thing. So we brought him here this morning to put Mao in it. But just quickly before I get to him, in 5 minutes, let me speak with a media colleague of ours, Vani Dix. Vani is a close associate of a former foreign deputy foreign minister at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Elias Shanayan. He's been accused lately of getting involved, digging behind, or maybe looking behind Madam Sarah Beslow Yanti's credentials, and at the same time undermining her confirmation, activity. In fact, according to some of the pundits out there, that he's the mastermind behind all of the hula baloo surrounding Madam Sarah Beslow Yanti. He since rejected that. I had a conversation with the big brother himself, Mr. Shanayan. But Vani is an associate. He's been having close conversation with Mr. Shanayan. He's on the line to share with us briefly what is Mr. Shanayan's position on this issue. And now that Madam Sarah Beslow Yanti has gone for confirmation, how does he intend to clear his name from this public, criticism? Good morning, Vani.
Matthias, good morning, and let me extend profound greetings to your followers. Good morning to everyone.
Welcome. Giving the personality, Elias Shanayan, you've been knowing him for a couple of times now. When you heard the information, you got the information about he being responsible for all of the criticisms against Madam Sarah Beslow Yanti, the foreign minister designated designated by the president. What came to mind? How did you initially react to it before having a conversation with him directly?
So I thank you for having me this morning, Matthias. Over the last 15 years, I have known Elias to be a very decent and reputed statesman. I have also had the opportunity of working with Elias, not just knowing him outside of maybe the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but I also had the opportunity of working with him, and I know him to be a reputed statesman. So when that information first sprung up in the public space, I automatically, when some of the journalists started calling me, I told them that was false. That was a misinformation that was being spewed. Whosoever may have been responsible had their own devilish intent for which they were doing it. But my first reaction to it was to have informed fellow Penn fraternity members that that information was actually false. So later, the honorable man called me that had asking me if I've heard what was being spoken about him in the public, and I told him, oh yes. And his initial response was to just let it be. And I told him yes, but sometimes when you allow these things to keep parading within the public space, there is a tendency that people start to believe some of the information they hear, especially coming from the radio.
So has he reached out to Madam Yanti personally? Perhaps she's received the information, and human now, it's possible that she's reacting to it differently, that she may hold something against him. Has he been able to reach out to her to have a conversation?
So the first thing is to clarify that Elias has not been involved with whatsoever he's been accused of.
Right.
Secondly, Elias have told me personally how he was also shocked to have seen the level of swelling campaign that have been mounted against the foreign minister designate.
Right.
So and he told me, he said, this is one of the acclaimed and well-respected Liberians that we have, especially in the realms of diplomatic affairs.
Oh, he sees her that way.
He sees her that way, and that was what he told me. He said, I'm even taking that back to see that we are fighting one of our very qualified own. And he told me, he said, I support her for this post. So to have heard what is being said about me in the public, I'm really shocked. But again, since let us say in contemporary Liberian diplomatic issues, Elias stands out as one of the person that is very competent, that is very qualified. So when these things are coming up, the very first thing that comes to mind is that there are people in some quarters that are threatening. So Elias was working in the CDC-led government. He voluntarily resigned from the government when he realized that one or two things were not unfolding well while he was in the government. So he voluntarily resigned. When the Unity Party-led government took power, And then I reached out to him. I said, Chief, I would be glad were you to be factored in the system. He said, Vani, I know how well you supported this government, and I know you want to see me work in it. But let me tell you, I am not interested at the moment in working in the government. I'm engaged with Cottington, where I serve as the Dean for the School of Global Affairs.
Right.
And I'm also engaged with other international matters at the moment. I'm occupied. So these things are taking much of my attention. However, I will support the Waika-led government in whatsoever form and faction that they will need expertise or whatsoever. But in terms of wanting to work in the government,
Okay.
I am really occupied with other important engagement right now.
So lastly, I mean, he has nothing to do with this whole, confirmation of Madam Sarah Beslo Yenti. He supports her. He believes that she's capable. He believes that she has the expertise. She's competent to represent Liberia at the level of the foreign ministry.
Absolutely. He tells me very frankly that, Vani, I support this lady, and I'm shocked at the level of fight that I see being mounted against her. So wheresoever it is coming from, I'm also shocked about this. But he does support her appointment at the level of foreign affairs, and he believes in her experience. He believes in the competence that she comes with, and so he was also taken aback when the information first sprung up in the public space.
Thank you so much, Vani.
Thank you, Elias, thank you, Matthias, for having me this morning.
Thank you. He's Vani Diggs is an associate of former Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Elias Shoneyen, but he's also a Liberian journalist. They're providing some clarity to that. Julius, how would you introduce our guest?
Well, I think you spent a lot of your time with him before me.
Okay.
So you should rather introduce him. But I know him, one of the funders of the Politburo.
Okay.
I used to hear that name, Politburo, when I came to Liberia, and then I was living up Duka. But I didn't get to see him until when he left and went to LIS.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mr. Abraham Dolly, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Dolly. So that is enough introduction already. Right. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone following this broadcast this morning. Firstly, before we go further,
right,
I am not here in the capacity as the spokesperson of the Liberian Revolution.
No, we didn't mention that.
No, let me just provide that disclaimer.
Right.
I am here as the chairman emeritus of the National Politburo of Liberia, civil society institution that was a beacon of intellectualism in Liberia. So that is the capacity that I'm serving in now this morning.
And that's a good one, Julius. Just something you don't know, Mr. Dolly, when this whole intellectual thing or started in Liberia, I don't know, I mean not say Liberia in our contemporary time, but that's after the war. These guys wanted to bring young people together, guide them. I mean, he spent a lot of time in the classroom. He taught me. Ibrahim Dole, Valai Dole, Sidi Kamara, several good guys.
I call it Politburo.
Yeah, the Politburo.
How do you spell that Poly? Yeah, how you spell that Poly?
Oh, it's P-O-L-I-T. Polit.
Oh, Politburo.
Yeah.
Why you call it
What does it mean?
Why you call it
Political.
Yeah, it's a political bureau where you discuss political issues. So we get abbreviated Politburo.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So basically, he's one of those, who had a touch on me, and congratulations to you for stepping in the classroom when some of us didn't have the resources to go to morning sessions or afternoon. We had to go to evening classes. And dollars, I say dollars because he and his brother were in the classroom as well. They dedicated their time to go into the classroom at night to teach some of us who could not go to the school, and for that, I say I'm grateful to you.
Thank you very
much. Seeing you at the level of the LIS, the tremendous work you're doing with communication there is good. And now the subject you are engaged in today, even, makes me to secure a special place in my heart in terms of respect, because you sat down and called me up, I think 2 days ago, last week, by the way, say, Matthias, I don't like the way advocacy is going on in Liberia. I want to weigh in on it. Let's have a conversation around that. And say, well, who am I to not make time available for you to come in and share your thoughts? First, what is advocacy?
Well, from the context of advocacy, right? I'm going to be very dwarfed, probably brief. It's about talking for the people. Talking for the people, not talking for yourselves. People in making sure that the basic social services are provided in making sure that the people needs are met, in making sure that the people well-being is up to date in terms of how one should live, in terms of the Human Development Index. So that is everything that comes with human rights should be embodied in advocacy.
So I could sum it up by an advocate is the seeker of others' welfare.
Definitely. So where others don't have the voice to speak, you should be there speaking for them, making sure their needs are met, what they need to do, what they need to get is being provided for by the state actors.
Can we break it down in branches? Maybe somebody would want to put themselves behind a particular form of advocacy. Say for example, one would say, okay, I just want to advocate for the reintroduction of female genital mutilation. Someone would say that is only thing I seek to see happening in the society. Another person may say, I am advocating to ensure that civil servant salary is increased. The person sticks to that, exclusively. Is it possible to have advocates from that perspective? Would they be considered as people who are limiting advocacy in terms of the word advocacy as it is, or there will be people holistically seeking the interest because with their limitation? I don't know whether you got that right, but basically what I'm trying to say is that people find different energies to align to different issues.
I agree with you.
All right, they align their energies to different issues based on the way the issues occur to them. Just like the way you sat down, you felt that advocacy is not done the right way. Is it wrong for someone to find a particular thing to advocate for?
It's not wrong. That is what the person believes in.
And they can stick to that all their lives.
You can stick to that. That is your conviction. Now, advocacy is about being convicted in what you believe in.
Okay.
That's conviction. If you are going to I'm convicted in this, I want to make sure this happens. I want to make sure the people achieve this, what I'm going into. That's conviction.
What if this conviction is only leading this person to a direction that they seek their personal, aggrandizement rather than the support of others?
The first thing I said during the intro,
right,
the general well-being of the people.
That's advocacy.
Yeah, you should be convicted to it. Like, for instance, when we were in Clarendon, there was a market structure that was very dilapidated. I took over 6 to 7 months because I was convicted in doing that the people needed a better market space to sell. They can't sell in the rain, they can't sell in the mud.
Right.
And I stick to it for over a year, and I got the results. That's conviction. You don't go to advocacy without being convicted in that you believe in.
So it's not a knee-jerk thing. It's something that you must go to, stick to it. It doesn't matter whether you get the result today, but as
you must get the results. You must get the results. Consistency comes in advocacy. Nowadays in Liberia, people are not consistent. They flip-flopped. Today they are like this, tomorrow they are like this. As a result, you won't get the needed result you need in advocating for what you want for the people. You need to be convicted, stick to it, and make sure that if even it takes you 3 years, 2 years, do your research, let the results come. And the results come the day you are beating your chest. Say, yes, I did this. I advocated for this. It took a very long time. By the end of the day, yes, it definitely come. That's how it should be.
That approach you're talking about may seem very slow. And I want you to talk us through how that approach helped advocates of yesterday, like your likes.
Now, I'll give you. Now, the first thing is that when we started, Vala and myself, may his soul rest in peace.
Right.
Couple of individuals, Vasco, Nyan, Ibrahim, Nyan, Ibrahim, other guys ran through the Politburo. Now, we were very convicted. We started with writing newspaper from data observers, newsletters. That's where we started from. Flagging the issues that confront societies, how national government should come in. We stick to that. And there was a time I said, but VMD may also recipe. I said, we need to elevate this stuff, though. We can have a register, make it legitimate so that the government can. They say, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. We'll have a register with the government and we started moving from there. So we started getting engaged with consistency, with determination, with conviction, in making sure that what we want to achieve was done. Our first achievement when we were running the Politburo was when we advocated for the redecoration and recondition of the one-man grave. We ran that consistently in Daily Observer, but then the guy used to take the picture, how you call him, the camera. We wrote series of letters. He
That,
went
that,
there.
that is
Sandomo.
yeah.
He went there. He did Pictorial. He put it in the newspaper, and the government moved in and have it done. That impacted one way. So we started moving forward. Now, we started making sure that things that are lacking, we talk about it. Things that the people need to hear. The government can be everywhere. The government would not be everywhere. So if you are an advocate, probably you are in Doe community, you are in Clarendon, you are in West Point, you should be the voice of the masses. What they can say, you should be the elevating it, putting it in a balloon form, so that national stake actors can get what the people need in the Doe community, what they need in West Point, what they need in Bugonjide, what they need in Grand Jide. When you do that, you are serving your people in different capacity. And that was what we do at the time to make sure that we serve our people. And we did that with commitment. We did that with dedication. We did that with our hearts. We believed in what we were doing. So we were not jitter. We were not jitter about what we were doing. We feel that what we were doing was right, and we definitely have to go after it and make sure that we get those needed results. And yes, and today, as I said here, I feel very proud that we have a hand marks in advocacy in Liberia. We have a hand marks in Clarendon, in Doe community that you can go and see. Yes, we brought this here through advocacy. So I feel very proud that I said that discussing the role we have played. So, we did not elevate our role. We never elevated our role in advocacy.
What do you call elevating your role?
That is that is projecting yourself to be what you are not.
Okay.
Elevating yourself.
So even before you can achieve something in your advocacy, you're already telling people that you're an advocate, and you're bragging about the fact that this voice is heard every time. Maybe you're just talking, you're not making impact. But people, I mean, talk to us a little bit, explain a bit how do people project themselves as who they're not? They are advocates.
When I'm saying don't inflate your role, don't inflate your role as an advocate when you are not.
How does that work?
Taking a phone, probably calling on a talk show does not make you an advocate. You go deeper, you go beyond that.
I don't understand.
If I take a phone call today, right?
Your definition of advocacy, may put the person in that category.
You go deeper.
So the person calls on a talk show, and then they find a particular issue that that is burning to them.
Yeah.
All right. There's a fellow that usually calls on 50-50. I remember he always calls and talk about agriculture.
Yeah.
He's a
disabled
fellow.
That's a branding
and
issue.
he benefited $20 from our boss T-Max, according to him, to make his farm. He calls every morning.
That's a branding issue.
Agriculture.
So now, at that point,
are you saying that because he calls on the radio and talk about agriculture, it means that he's not going deep into?
No, he's going deep. For the fact that he's talking about it, he's going deep, but he's not inflating his role. He talk about it consistently. He want to have it achieved. That is what he believes in.
I still don't get the part you mentioned. Somebody inflicting.
So are you saying being consistent means that you are inflicting your role?
No, being consistent. I'm not saying you are inflating your role. That's not you will walk on the street. You hear somebody say, "I'm an advocate." No, you are inflating your role. Don't inflate your role.
Don't show yourself.
Let society speak for you what you have done.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay.
You do the talking, get the results. Don't brag about yourself. Let people talk about you that, yeah, he did this. He have done this before. Like the guy you speak about. That is a brain issue to his chest. He's convicted about agriculture. He believes in it. He want to see us moving. He want to see the wheat training. He want to see the wheat moving. So based on every time he calls on the talk, he talks about it. It's to his chest. Now, what he believes in, he's convicted in it. He believes in it. He's so passionate about it. And that is why he wants to see driving Liberia further.
How did you people transition from active advocacy to maybe some of you going to government, some going to the private sector? Who did you people turn over the mantle to?
Well, I was saying government when I was saying the political very actively. Very actively. I was saying government when I was running the political very actively. But then I started bragging, probably reneging when I got the position as the spokesperson of the Liberian Immigration Service. So based on that, I was no longer active with the Politburo. So by ascendancy clause, the SG should have taken my place based on decision from the executive committee, which is a higher decision-making body of the National Politburo of Liberia. So Asumana A.M. Dukle filled in that void when I left.
Right.
So after them, we decided we made Victor Barrow the current chairman of the National Politburo of Liberia.
Okay, so Victor, okay, so you transition at the level of Politburo, somebody is there to take over. The point I'm making is your approach to advocacy, was it basically about you just advocating and making the impact, or also cutting across, reaching out to other little intellectual centers in other areas and teaching young people how to engage issues, rather than just you developing your Politburo and leaving the entire advocacy? Because this whole thing is a profession by itself. People come into this space, they do not understand. As far as they know, a lot of people they call, well, I'm a defender of Matthias Labini. I'm a defender, whatever you defending Matthias Labini for, nobody knows.
I never defend anybody.
So how I mean, the question I'm asking about transitioning, did you manage to touch other lives, other young advocates like today, that one can say, okay, yeah, I'm an advocate today because I learned from the first steps of Mr. Dole and his likes. Today I am following systemic procedures in advocacy, not the way other people are just going up and down.
Like I said, I named schools of individuals that today are national state actors. You have Ibrahim Nye, Dr. Ibrahim Nye, you have Vasco, you have Marco Tebesim, you have Ibrahim Kiazulu, you have Tato Spakla, you have so many young individuals who by then were not at the verge of becoming an intellectual. So they used to go to the Politburo whenever we are discussing issues. They said and listen, sometimes they moderate, listen to how the moderations is done or probably are done. Then subsequently they can make their impact. We also gave them the leverage to ask questions, because the thing is, to move forward, you should first have the bravery to hold the microphone to ask questions. So those platforms were laid out, those steps were laid out for them to have their say. And as they have their say, as time progresses, they begin to have themselves turn into an intellectual giant. They begin to turn themselves into people that will speak to issues whenever they arises on the national scene.
Okay, so let me ask this question, and I think it's important. We've seen over the years, over the periods, a lot of advocates who start with advocacy, call themselves advocates, and people will start to hear them. But the question is advocacy a pathway to getting or seeking job?
No, it's
or
not.
because I mean, I'm asking this question because look, we know a lot of them who were advocates before. The moment they got job, they kept quiet. Is there a pathway to seeking job?
No, it's not a pathway to seeking job. It's not a pathway to seeking job. Like I told Matthias when I run the Politburo, I was staying in government, but I feel convicted.
But your case might be different. You're working already. Some of them are not working. Even of recently, people are not working. They're advocating. But trust me, the moment they get a job, they keep quiet. So that's why I'm asking that question.
It shouldn't be the path. It shouldn't be the pathway to getting job. Everything that you believe in, you go after it. If even you get a job now, currently I have to speak on this platform. People ask me at times to go and probably provide some thoughts, but then we have a divergence in view. They have asked me to go and serve as a advisor of them, but we equally have divergence on views.
Okay.
Because the thing is, it's not always about praising the government. It's not. It shouldn't be about always praising the government. It shouldn't be about your well-being because you want to have yourself placed in government. No. And based on that, they said we couldn't go along. And I told them in one of our gatherings, if you want me to come over to serve as an advisor to you people, you have to listen. It's not all about praising the government. When the government is not doing the right thing, you say. When the government is doing the right thing,
they have a particular group the prison.
Yeah, it's not. It shouldn't be like that. The thing is, you should look at the general good of the country. Like quite recently, I was telling a guy, I say, do you know that we don't have street lights in the entire capital city? I say, if you take that consistently, you call on 50-50. You call on Prime FM. Every morning you raise that issues. When the government provides electricity, you have achieved. You have achieved not just for yourself, for the country, and for the general good of the Liberian people. Sometimes we give them those ideas, but they don't take it. So as a result, we just say that.
Another question from my end is when the other folks, our forefathers, our father and grandfathers, when they were coming up, they knew that they were building a society that the younger ones would come and inherit. And so they had a set rule or standard that even if the younger one comes, they will follow. The two people put that standard in place, because I think your concern is the way the young guys are doing advocacy nowadays is not the right thing they're doing. They two put in that place, that thing in mechanism in place to say, okay, there is a standard. Even if we leave and other people are coming, let them follow this trend. Then you are the pace setters. You are the pace setters, so let them follow the route.
Yeah, and the answer to that is that most of the guys who probably call on the radio, they call from this area, they call from this area. I'm sorry to say, but they are not organized. That's the first thing.
They're not organized.
They are not organized. Because like for us, we register, we have our structure in our article of incorporation. We have the chairman, we have the director on governmental affairs, the director on political affairs, the director on educations. We were structured in that form and manner. Like today, it's not happening. So we just take a phone and call, say XYZ, XYZ. So based on that structure, we started working as an institution rather, and achieving this goal that we set aside as an institution, and going further, they were achieved. Because everybody, we have people from region 1, we have people from region 2, we have people from region 3. We have a coordinator from region 3 who was born Lofa and Nimba.
Okay. And
he was based in Kotiton, feeding us with information on a weekly basis, but for now it's not happening. So you have
why you think it's not happening?
You were getting regional reports.
Definitely.
So why you think it's not happening now? Is it because of lack of resources, or maybe they are self-centered, something like that?
Julius, Uncle Julius. When we were running the poly, there was never a money given to us. Every morning when you decided to call on the talk show to raise a particular issue, I will look for my 50 cents, but then to call, you might have a 50 cents. I'll look for my 50 cents in the night, put them on my phone, because I have an issue that I want to raise. If you beat me no matter what, I can't use that money. I would not use that money.
Because you want to use it the next morning.
We're going to use it the next morning. Because minus 50 cents, you can't call. For now, you have 3 free calls. Minus 50 cents, you can't call. So I'll put that money on that phone, reserve that money for the following morning. Because there is an issue that I want to raise.
It is good that you have.
No, seriously, it is an issue that I want to raise. You can beat me, you be who you beat me. I will not call you. I would not call you until the next morning when I'm finished doing what I'm supposed to say on the radio, raising those issues that I'm supposed to raise before I return your call. That was conviction.
Okay, so another question. It's good that you are here. Is it good? Is it acceptable for an advocate to certificate or award someone a certificate? Like for example, you get a group of activists, advocates coming together and going to print a certificate and walk to a particular ministry or maybe a particular office and say, okay, Mr. Dole, we are here to award this certificate as a good, civil servant of the year. Is it advisable to do that?
Yes, it is, and probably it is not. It is in a sense that if we walk in here, probably want to give your boss a certificate, right? We should have done due diligence. Why we want to give it to him? We shouldn't just give it to him because we want to give it to him. We should do fact checks. What has he done? What has been his contribution to society? Then based on that, we can make a determination. But it's not just for someone to just leave the blue sky and walk in and come with a certificate material like Bini because he sits on the radio and talks almost every day. No.
Not like that. After certification, or do small thing for Matthias.
Do a background check. Because whenever you certificate somebody, that's your image. It's like you are recommending, that's recommendation. You are putting to that person. Say, yes, based on what we have observed, we have blah, blah, blah. We have certified that we can give this to Matthias. It's just in the form of recommendations. So before you do that, you do a lot of background check, you dot a T, you cross the I, and make sure that you are convinced that what you are putting on a certificate is what Matthias is doing. Because time to come, prospective will judge you one day. One day you'll be judged. So everything that you do today on the earth, know that there will be a time to come, people will definitely go after you and check after you. So if you are certificating somebody, do with your conviction, do your checks, do everything that you can do. If possible, you set up a vetting committee to go behind the person, vet the person behind them. Then based on that,
I asked this question. I want to be blunt on this. A few years ago, a group sent me a letter. They wanted to certificate me one of the best broadcasters. And I read a letter, and the program was here in Jonathan. We got there at the church, and they had a program and what else, blah, blah. When I left, a day after, I received a call from the particular person that called me and said, bring the letter to me. Yeah, man, what's up? Man, we certificate you, man. So what you get for, you know?
You see that?
I'm telling you a true story.
It's odd.
So I asked him, did you certificate me as one of the best broadcasters
because he
to
wanted
give you
something?
money?
It's odd.
He said, no, but you know, my man, will you resources to print those things? I said, no, my man. It's not the issue. The issue is that you certificated me because you've been listening to radio.
That's the problem.
And you said that I'm one of the best.
Yes, that's the issue.
So why are you calling me?
So it's
and
not
since
about,
then, you have not called me, and that's how it goes. But that's what I'm asking, because the call that said advocacy.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. You don't do that if you want to do certification for somebody. Like I said, do your checks on the person, be convicted, convinced that indeed, yes, he has done this, he has contributed immensely to society, and I think we should have an appreciation for you.
Do you sometimes visit the Politburo?
Yeah, I'm almost there.
Like, do they consult you? Do you provide advice? Because Mataya and we were talking backstage, that name we've been hearing long before what they call CEO.
Yes,
CEO now is booming than the Politburo.
Yes, there are issues, and those issues are conviction. We were convicted in the Politburo, no matter what, Julius. We were convicted.
Yeah, I used to monitor.
That was something that we believe in. That was something that was to our chest. So we don't need to just let it go so easily. So everything that you want to do, yes, the resources might not come, but be convicted into it. The Politburo in Clarendon was a bastion of intellectualism. There were no government officials. Now, I will share a joke here today. There was one time I wrote a communication to, in fact, I did not write a communication. I met Isaac Nyanibo. He was then president pro tempore. In person, I said, but Chief, we want to bring it at the Politburo next week. He said, but man, he said, I'm disappointed. He said, I have heard about the people for a very long time, and people have not invited me. So let's do it this coming Sunday. Let's do it this coming Sunday. And he went there. Because the thing is, if you elevate the platform where decision makers go and discuss policy issues that affect society, and those policies are affecting, ask the hard question, have their say, make their impact, you have elevated your platform. So whenever you call another minister, they will definitely want to go there. And all of the things we used to do at the Politburo was definitely either it was on the radio, it was in the newspaper. So if Mr. T. Mac Glada is see on the newspaper today that he visited the Politburo, next time when I read Julius, he definitely wants to go there.
Yeah, because you guys will write your stories and share with the
It was.
So it means that when you host somebody at the Politburo, used to host somebody at the Politburo, you do an article on the person.
No, we used to carry journalists. We hire journalists. We carry journalists.
No, you don't hire journalists.
We carry journalists.
You invite journalists.
Thank you for the correction.
No, you don't hire journalists.
Yeah, we invite them. Thank you. We invite journalists.
Right.
And
I like that.
And the hardcore newspaper that you consider,
right?
Where they used to be there. The Daily Observer, the Front Page Africa, the Democrats. You just name it. Sky.
Mr. Dollar, could this be another advocacy or agenda for you to push? Maybe this could just be a last one for you, and retire from advocacy. Is that you start to name, shame, and checkmate those who are, seeking personal or wrongfully advocating or seeking personal, attention from certain people in the name of advocacy. Can we, ask that you get into that line?
No, I don't want to.
Maybe your job will be at stake.
No, it's not probably my job being at stake, right? But it's, sometimes we just like we are doing it, we'll keep doing it probably. Get the people conscious about what they need to do in terms of advocacy.
We have tried that in the media. Our brothers, our sisters that are doing unorthodox journalism, they have not, repented. They still continue to sin, and in fact, their sin continuing to become red, like scarlet. So you
keep doing it.
So how do you intend to keep doing this?
But we checkmate them.
You keep doing it.
Right.
Now, I'm very convinced from today. There are other individuals who say, yes, I think he went on the radio, he says some stuff, he says some good things. I think I need to rekindle I need to redirect my advocacy. I need to redirect and redefine what I tend to do in terms of advocacy. I know some of them are listening today, they have a conscience. They will sit and reflect on the road they have played and make a better decisions in going forward, how they move.
Somebody just commented on our Facebook page, and the person said they're watching. The person said, "Good morning, Mr. Dolly, sorry, the father of political bureau in Claratown. I'm watching from Bernardville. He's called Sickly."
No, Sickly
He
is
said
Sickly.
you are the father of political bureau in Claratown.
No, definitely we were.
That means you left a hallmark there.
No, we do.
A legacy is there for you.
We do.
Then why don't you go back to advise the folks there?
No, I am, like I said, I'm always there. We talk about it. There's a plan to have a reunion, probably.
Okay.
Have a reunion of the Politburo, redefine the agenda of the Politburo, and probably set it on the right footing in terms of moving forward to make sure that what we establish the Politburo for don't die.
Right. So the one last question I would like to ask, maybe before we join the line, is that this thing about advocacy in Liberia. I don't know, when should an advocate keep silent? I asked this question for a couple of reasons. When Mr. Tukpa, is that Tukpa the guy from the ANC that comments, how to, suspend him?
As a
Tukpa. He, along with one professor, librarian professor in America, they wrote a book. They included some pornographic text in the book. That brought people got divided on that subject matter. You saw women that you could not see barely raising issues about children being molested and all of that. They came out in their numbers to defend the reputation of the first lady. We saw Justina Taylor here. People also took their sides with Justina Taylor. Some took their sides with Jefferson Koji. We saw Princess Kopo. People stood with the family, Princess Kopo. When we came to the issue of the rape situation, I saw you in black. Did you show up? The rape, and things. This is another thing you should stay by from, right?
Yeah.
Sure. So the rape situation that the president declared himself, feminist in chief, that also, it was like it appeared like a family, a whole nation, a national concern, a national call, and all of that. At some point, I noticed that people come together on a particular subject matter. Other time, I see that even advocates get divided on a particular subject matter. Is it that in advocacy, every advocate defines his agenda?
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
Yeah. Why you go for, what you believe in, what you defined at that moment that can impact lives. So you go after it.
So
I can look at it differently. You can look at it differently. But the good of the matter is we are seeking the well-being of the ordinary people. So you can push it differently. I can push it differently. I can be speaking for sanitation in West Point. That should be my concern. The people should have water. They should have electricity. They should have a livable environment. That should be my quest. And I start pushing it for the past 7 months. That's my conviction. You can look at it differently. I define my role in that direction, and you also define your role in your direction in terms of how you push your agenda.
Isn't there going to be a friction in terms of agenda? Because if you achieve your and I achieve mine, how would it lead?
The good of the people is what matters.
Right. You're here listening to Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We are here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Our guest this morning is the father, as Sickly says, is the father of Politburo, in Liberia, not in Claratown. So if you limit it to Claratown, that means a Claratown-based intellectual platform. I think the Politburo, I want to challenge the folks at CEO. Politburo somehow is an ideology that gave birth to CEO today, because CEO was nowhere when Politburo was around. Now I'm saying, I know the guys at CEO are my friends. If they disagree, let them invite me. Let me prove to them that the Politburo is the father of all intellectual, centers in Liberia, including SEMPI. But let's have a conversation. Call us on the numbers 0777 0777 107 0777 221223 0777 107 0777 221223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. some people would
And maybe they can tell us how do they see the advocacy now
in Liberia
here
today.
in Liberia today as compared to days before. Good morning. Go to the line. Let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning, Julius, and let me say good morning to Matthias.
Good morning, Mr. Zach Bembo.
Julius, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Zach. Good morning.
Mama, you want to speak to me? Julius, you want to speak to?
Yeah, Zach, we're getting you. Go on.
Oh, thank you for the recognition, Julius. And let me say good morning to the veteran there in studio. He has spoken well, and from his deliberation, there's no doubt that indeed he's one of those who brought intellectualism to us in Liberia, for which we are practicing. And like he said, I think the dynamics of advocacy nowadays is for self-academia. I will not want to give a specific example, but I think there are a lot of young people who go into this quote-unquote advocacy nowadays for what they think they can get, but not what the public will benefit. And I think we have to redirect this issue of advocacy to the old days so that indeed we can be remembered for what we advocated for. We are remembering.
What is the name? What is the name of that institution that
who actually brought this issue?
And he's not getting me.
Zach, are you there? Zach, he's gone off the line.
All right. So call us on those numbers: 07777 07777221223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. We have Mr. Abraham Dolly. Abraham Dolly is the founder, one of the founders of the Politburo there based in Clowertown. Eric, what is Eric Hen? Julius, Eric, since that day.
I'll tell you, Eric, since that day.
Yeah, good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning to you. Let me also say good morning to your student there.
Go ahead.
I followed your conversation, and your conversation seems to be a very interesting one. I also follow the fact that you try to keep in on the question of how people think of advocacy, and he has continuously said advocacy should be what one believes in, and I do agree. But I also think that genuine advocacy should be tailored around the basic life issues that confront people in this generality. For example,
definitely,
the issue of prostitution is a general life advocacy. The issue of teenage pregnancy, the issue of drug addiction, I think young advocates should keep their focus in engaging issues that affect people in its generality. And so that's the point I wanted to make.
Okay.
Your studio guest is quite good. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think Mr. Dolly summarized that as well.
So I think he's talking about don't be like sticking yourself to politics,
right?
The political
find different issues and things, and so
different societal issues. And like for example, you talk about street lights in Central Monrovia. You can find one of them and consistently talk about it. It is. I mean, the day government decided to bring it is a plus for you.
It's a plus for you.
Yeah.
So the only benefit an advocate get is the inner satisfaction that
when you achieve
his goal for whatever he was asking for the people.
Well, I think
they've gotten it.
I think, don't you think the advocates we have nowadays, they're doing it in a way that will do it to get paid. You don't think so?
And no, a lot of that he doesn't want to come clear, and that's why I said he should declare himself. I am beseeching him to ensure that he steps forward, name, shame, and let's filter this advocacy thing, because even the advocates are making this society bad. Just like the way we on the radio, the media, journalists, we are advocates too.
Yeah,
we are also polluting this very society. We get on the radio, we find our people. Then like Professor Paul Lumumba would say, everyone is finding their own criminal to defend.
Yeah,
that's the Liberian society.
It's bad.
Yeah, and that's where we find ourselves today. So even the very radios who say that we are also polluting the society, then the advocates that we lend our platforms to, they themselves they come with objectives of. I think this is our struggle. How can you be advocating for something and someone is funding you behind? Is that appropriate? For example,
it's not. It's
for somebody to call you.
Someone is funding you. Yeah, you keep doing it.
It's not appropriate. So with that, someone is diffusing your mind. You are not moving on your own. Someone is giving you second thoughts. Someone is redirecting your course of thinking. on how they go about engaging those issues.
Right. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you, sir.
Let me say thank you to your studio here. And I listened to Learn to say he spoke well about the advocacy.
What is your name, sir? That's it. That's the procedure. What's your name and where you join us from?
I'm a custom pastor. I can join you from London.
Go ahead.
We once said to people before that there's no activist in Liberia that is balanced. People say probably we don't know what we are saying. Most of the time we saw people in the streets advocating for things. You can see that they have different motives. They are not doing it because of the country, or they are doing it because of the self-benefit. So we like that. Like I don't want to reference somebody on the show here that
no, do that.
So, but when see whole lot of things, people come in, they are in the interest of the country. They want to, even the light that he mentioned, but like other stuff that have to advocate for things in Liberia. Probably you see that maybe we lacking traffic lights that endanger the life of others.
Minor things.
Yeah, that you stand up for it, put government feed the fire, explain to government why that it's important for the street light. All these things, but other people believe it, but probably we got some political motive. Politics in this country is hampering our activities. Let us forget about politics and focus on the real things and make sure that we're developed. Not to get that political sentiment, just you get that sentiment, sentimental mind that you believe that the other person is not capable. You get somebody to step just of course, no, the other people that doesn't read between the line, we believe that you are advocating for them. It's not good for this country. So let me say kudos to our brother Institute. He's very good this morning, and thank you for the show.
Thanks for your contribution on the program. Good morning.
I think that was our last caller.
All right, so we have to go on. Mr. Abraham Dole is our guest this morning, and yeah, it's good that we brought him here this morning. We hope that you young advocates out there, those of you who call on the various talk shows, the moment you call, you introduce yourself as an advocate and all of that. I mean, it's important that you listen to these old folks. I mean, old not in age, but old in what you are doing, and they've done it. They did it from different angles.
They paved the way.
I told you, Julius, out there, while we were having a conversation before coming in the studio, that the first time I set eyes on Brown and Samanka was through the Politburo.
Yeah.
All right, and several other government officials. Some of us, high school boys, we just used to like going there to see government officials. I mean, and enjoy the way the guys used to handle the microphone. You talk about there's a fellow you mentioned, not Dukley. Yeah, it should be Dukley. I like the energy in that guy's voice when he handles the microphone. You can sense elocution, enunciation, pronunciation, and he's very articulate. So I mean, we're just concerned about either learning one new word today, learning how to ask questions today, or understanding what the defense ministry is about. Or
you want to see a particular person?
You want to see a particular person? You go to the Politburo. Once you get done with your work and things, go and have your shower, eat your food, or maybe buy whatever, and go and sit. Listen, the only thing you wouldn't have seat because I mean, always jam packed. Stay at the back. So now we'll climb on top the containers, and all of. But anyway,
before we leave,
there
was one time the former Minister of Justice, Christiana Tah,
right,
and I wonder what to appear, but she was driving. And I managed to get her number, and I placed a call to her. She said, "Oh, Mr. Dolly, I'm going this off east, but when I come back, we can arrange it. I'll definitely come to the Politburo." So people was always willing to come. Once you place a call, they was willing to come to speak to issues. And there have been. Let me just say that sometimes when I sit there today, I feel very proud. Honestly, Matthias, the way we have our people, I feel very good today. Even the roads in Clarita. Let me tell you just a short story. We brought Kofi Woods, but then he was serving as public works minister at the Politburo to discuss the road connectivity in Liberia and what do we intend to benefit as a community from the national budget. At that forum, Kofi committed that they will do the road in the next fiscal period. And that Clarita road got in the budget. Through that, it was done. So based on that, we can brag. So this is now we said we feel very proud. We have a hallmark in advocacy in Liberia.
So I think what I want to advise you, instead of naming and shaming, sometimes just pick up your phone and say, I am not calling in my capacity as LIS spokesperson. I am calling as the founder of the Politburo,
Chairman
Emeritus. And I'm calling on young advocates to redirect their energies towards substantive issues rather than these trivial things.
Sure.
Either you're defending this character or you're defending the characters should defend themselves at some point. Except when it gets to a point where the person's character depends on the national good. Then you can go for it. Right. But anyway, it was nice having you, Mr. John.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks for coming. Thank you.
And honestly, I feel very proud of you.
Right.
Sometimes when you sit there, say we talk to you.
Yeah,
you are one of the very fast people that I feel very proud of whenever I listen to you on the radio. Honestly, even though we struggle, but just a light slap. Just a light slap.
No, it's something I have to give you your
I agree, just a light slap.
But that's it. Thank you, folks. And that's all the time for today's edition. We'll be back here tomorrow again with another one.